I came to the Maine State Museum in January 1972, and my first day of work, which was the first working day of that year, I walked into the director's office and these were sitting on his desk. They had just arrived from their interesting early history, and he said, please figure out what's going on here. So I took them to a senior linguist at Harvard University named Einar Haugen, who happened to be a Norwegian. And he took a look at them, and in about 10 seconds he said they're fakes. They're clumsy fakes, in fact. And he went on to show me several points, particularly on this stone with a lot of text on it, some of the gross errors in the execution of the so-called runic characters. So that was enough evidence for me as an anthropologist, but then I thought others might not be so convinced. So we took them to the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, where they used a thin sectioning saw to cut little tiny slices out of various of the inscriptions. And you could see from the thin sections of those slices that there's a weathering rime on the outside of most rocks. Any rock you pick up, it's been exposed since the last glacier, and it's got a weathering rime on it. And you can see how crisply all those incisions cut through the weathering rime. So, given 1,000 years, that shouldn't have been so completely, they shouldn't have been so completely clean in the bottom of the grooves. Well, each person who's approached the stones has a different theory as to why Einar Haugen was not correct. And here, Landsverk and his colleagues thought they were code. Mr. Chapman thought they had something to do with navigation, navigational maps. Sue Carlson thought they were poetry. And Scott Walter thinks that they have something to do with the Knights Templar. So there's a complete disconnect every time a new person becomes interested. They wind up disliking each other because their theories are so irreconcilable. I think they're fakes.